My name is Leo Connors, and welcome to The Ring and All Other Sports. Tonight, I got a very special guest. Not only is he a wrestling trainee, but he's a politician, and he is one of the New Hampshire state representatives. How many are there, Matt?
There's just under 400 New Hampshire state representatives.
All right, so guys, my guest, Matt Pitaro.
Thank you for having me, Leo.
No problem, man. My pleasure. It really is. We're going to just do everything. We'll talk some politics in a little bit. Okay. Let's just get to it.
Excellent.
Matt, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Bedford, New Hampshire.
Okay.
Graduated from West High School back in 2005. And I had a very good childhood and a very good upbringing.
Nice. You look fantastic,
by
the way.
You. Thank
Really
you.
do. I love it when my guests dress up like that. That's awesome. When did you first see pro wrestling?
My earliest memories of professional wrestling, they date back to the build-up for WrestleMania 8.
Nice.
The first thing I remember is the tag team match between Hulk Hogan and Sid Justice versus Ric Flair and The Undertaker. Sid Justice abandons Hulk Hogan in the ring, and from there, they launch right into WrestleMania 8.
Nice. Excellent. Were any of your family and or friends into it? Like kids in your neighborhood or from school?
Well, I have an older brother.
Okay.
And one of the things that we really bonded over was professional wrestling.
Nice.
And dating back to, don't do this at home, kids, but wrestling in the living room to always watching it to begging our parents for ordering the pay-per-views. Even to this day, whenever we get a chance, we go to shows or watch the pay-per-views together.
Nice. Now, what's the age difference between the two of you?
4.5 years.
Okay, yeah, 'cause my brother's was 3 years and 11 months, so he was a little bit older than me, too.
Yep.
Tell us about going to your very first wrestling show.
Well, it was the Survivor Series. I think it was 1993. It was at the Boston Gardens. It was a big event. I remember that there were some changes with what happened with the main event. It was the King's Knights versus the Hart family. And but I was still very young then, but I just remember it being such a big deal and very bright and very colorful, and I was so happy to be there.
Nice. All right. What about your very first indie show? Do you remember that? Or any indie show that you went to early in your being a fan?
Several years ago, I do recall going to some of the shows that Lobster Man promoted.
Nice. In Nashua?
In Nashua, yep.
I was there selling my merchandise at almost all the shows.
Yep. I might have been too young and too broke to get your merchandise,
Right.
So I apologize for that. But I do remember him bringing in local baseball players and doing all sorts of old school things in his shows. So I really appreciated it.
Right, he brought in Butch Hobson to be a referee in a match between, if I'm not mistaken, him and Mav at Nashua High School South.
Oh, okay.
That was a long time ago. But when did you know that wrestling was something that you wanted to try to get into?
Well, I dipped my toes in it a long time ago. Steve Bradley had a school in Manchester. And at the time, my older brother was training there. And they had a fantasy camp. And I did go there for a 2-day training camp. It was very fun. We learned several different things. We even had a promo. And it ended with a couple of matches at the end of the weekend, which was really nice. And it was such an honor for me now in my training to date back to the brief time that I did see Steve Bradley.
Right.
What a impactful guy, and a guy who really leaves an impression on you.
Absolutely. Trained a lot of local guys that have turned out to be trainers themselves, too.
Exactly.
You know, it's like, it's not just Killer Kowalski's guys opening up training schools. Now it's Steve Bradley's guys opening up training schools. It's great to see the legacies just keep going.
Of course, yes.
All right. So now you're training, and you're training at both schools. So where are you training? Let everybody know.
Yep. Right now, I'm splitting my time between the Next Gen Pro Wrestling Center in Manchester and the Elite Pro Wrestling Academy in Concord.
Right.
So I've been very busy lately. It's like Mondays Manchester's, Tuesdays Concord, Wednesdays back to Manchester, Thursdays Concord, and then weekends are indie shows for me. So it's been very busy, but I am so blessed and I am so fortunate. I've been working a lot with Julian Starr down in Manchester.
Excellent.
He is such an amazing trainer.
He sure is.
And I've been working with Scott Reed and Mike Hollow up in Concord. What can you say about those guys? I
Right.
mean, I'm just so fortunate to be getting like the best all around here in New England, and I'm so happy about my progress.
That's excellent. And you're right. You can't get much better training than that. There's a lot of great trainers everywhere in New England. There is. But Mike Hollow and Scott Reed at the Elite Pro Wrestling Academy and Bud over at Next Gen with Julian. Fantastic. You're in great hands.
Bud is great with character work.
Right.
And Bud's also very gracious with showing new moves every week.
Nice.
So he's very supportive and very accommodating, and he makes sure everybody gets the moves down. And man, my toolbox of moves right now is going up and up, so I can't be happier.
And it's great to see that both schools are working together. Like, you know what I mean? Back in the day, nobody wanted you to go anywhere else. So it's really nice to see that, they're both helping each other, you know what I mean, with the students and stuff. That's fantastic.
Right. For me, it's about what's best for my progress
Yeah.
and what I want to get out of my training. So fortunately, I am able to train at both, and I'm enjoying it tremendously.
Nice. That is excellent. All right. Now, have you worked any shows yet?
Not. That's a tough question to answer.
Or in the ring?
In the ring. Yes, there was one show recently, a couple months ago. Bud put on a show at the Manchester Pride event. So it was arranged for me to have one match, but I ended up having two matches that day. So it was a very great experience. It was I learned a lot from the experience too. The difference between what to do if you're in a training match in a school versus how to respond if you're in front of a live crowd in front of people. And there's no substitute for that. So I learned a lot from those two matches, and it was a great time. Beyond that, I have been helping out with APW.
That's the follow-up question, so go right ahead, please.
Yep. I've been working security at APW.
And I see you at all the shows, except for the last one.
And I see you every time I come up and get a meatball sub.
Thank you.
And me and some of my other colleagues in the training classes, we've been asked to do some different security positions on the show, and doing some other things, getting in front of the crowd. So I really appreciate those opportunities. Excellent.
And the more you do it for the more companies, I love it. You told me you've gone up to help out set up at Limitless and other companies, NRG. That's Davey and Shay and Chris, right?
Yep.
Great guys.
Yep. New World Wrestling Extreme.
Oh, Trooper.
Yep.
Jimmy's a great guy. I love Troop.
Oh yeah,
I've known him a long time.
He's another personality.
Oh, no doubt.
Yep. Yeah. So on the weekends, I do try and get into the grind of things, driving all over New England. Offer to volunteer and help out with ring crew, help out with security if I can. And very much like politics, professional wrestling, it's all about networking.
Absolutely. There's a lot of politicking in wrestling, so it's going to help you out, I think.
Yeah.
I think it will.
I can't wait.
But it's great, though, like I said, there's so many people. They're working together now, companies. Like I said, back in the early 2000s, if you worked for one company, they didn't want you to work for anybody else. Nowadays, it's really welcome. They want you to. Obviously, they want you at their show, but if they're not running a show, they'd have no problem, their guys, wrestling everywhere. And there's a lot of wrestling in New England. You know that.
Yep. And I see what you mean. A lot of the local guys who are on shows now, they are working for different promotions, and they are getting opportunities with everybody. Right. And that only helps the business, it helps the fans, and it helps the wrestlers.
Yes, and if you do end up getting a match, don't hesitate to ask one of those veterans to watch your match and stuff like that, because they will. These guys love to give back. Some don't have time to go to a school and teach, but at the show, they're always willing to help out a young guy. Most of the guys. I can't say it for everyone, but
I agree totally. So far, what I've seen is everybody who's in the wrestling business has been very supportive. It's a very positive atmosphere right now, and everybody is willing to lend a hand and help you lift you up. So what I find most appealing about it is the positivity in the business.
Right. Excellent. That's great. Let's move on to some fan questions,
Okay.
and then we're going to talk politics.
All right.
For the second time on my show, but actually the first time that I'm going to do it, because my old co-host had a friend on, and they did the whole show on politics, didn't talk sports once, and I yelled at him afterwards. I'm like, you got to at least put some sports in there. First question is from Richard Littlefield.
Okay, yes. Yes.
If you could team up with an all-time great heel, who would it be?
Well,
I love that question.
Well, for my character, I'm in professional wrestling. I am the politician. And I thought two things comes to mind. Which way to go with this? In one direction, you have the old Shawn Michaels and Diesel the Bodyguard.
Right.
Having a big heavy there. But then I'm leaning towards the other direction. I'm thinking a situation like the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase and Virgil. I like the idea of having a subordinate, having an accomplice, and having my opponent get through them before they get to me. It's a good way to scout your opposition,
Yeah.
and it's a good way to find their weaknesses.
Nice, but is there anybody you'd like to team with?
Currently on the road right now?
No, any all-time great heel, like one of your favorite heels of all times. That would be cool if you managed or teamed with them.
It's really hard to narrow down.
Right.
So many of my favorites have gone back and forth between heel and babyface.
Well, you just say they were heel at whatever time they were heel if they were your favorite at that time.
Here's one for you. I would love to be in a tag team with George the Animal Steel.
Nice.
Man, the way he hid those objects from the referee and sneaking them in there is masterful. Masterful.
I have a signed picture on my wall of George the Animal Steel. My son gave me, so I love that answer. I'm a huge fan of the characters in wrestling. That's what drew me to wrestling back in the day, was the guys you wouldn't see on a street corner.
Exactly.
Like, what the heck is this guy? What do you mean he don't talk?
Definitely. Yeah, it draws you in.
Exactly. All right. Next question is from Magat. Sonny Goodspeed. Yes, Matthew Pitaro and Leo Connors. I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller. Sonny, we don't have telephones in the studio. You type this. No, but what is your all-time favorite finishing maneuver?
For that, I'd have to say The Undertaker's Tombstone. And The Undertaker really is my favorite wrestler. When I started watching, he just came into the WWE.
Right.
And I was able to follow his career from the beginning all the way to the end.
Right.
So I kind of grew up with The Undertaker. It starts from when I see him in the early days after he tombstoned the opponent. He'd open up that body bag, throw him over his shoulder and carry him out, to all the stuff with Kane, to the American Badass,
Right.
to his later years where seeing him was just a pleasure, and he never slowed down, he never grew old or anything like that.
Right.
He was just a great contributor to the business.
Absolutely. One of my favorites, too. I don't know if you have his. They put out a book years ago. It's like really, it's black. Do you have any Undertaker books? Because when I find it, I'll take a picture of it and show you. Because it's
I
an
would love that.
incredible book. It's 25 Years of the Undertaker.
Okay.
Is the name of the book. It's incredible. The pictures, the book itself is just amazing. My youngest daughter bought it for me. I know you said you didn't want to talk too much about training, but Sonny just has one question to training. What's your favorite part of training?
Well,
Or you really didn't want to talk about the names of the drills. Is that what it was?
yeah, that's
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So where I'm at now with my training is in a very, very good place. When I first started out, we would go over moves and go over little things, and then a week or two would go by, we'd go back to the moves and like, wait, how do I do that again? Now that I've been training, I'm coming up on a year really soon.
Nice.
Everything's starting to mesh together, and right now I'm going at it full steam ahead. Now that I have a little bit more knowledge and have a little bit more experience, I'm so excited to get back into training and just keep applying what I know and building from there. So I'm very excited, and I'm going as hard as I can with this endeavor.
That's awesome. Very good. It's what you put in is what you'll get out, they say, too. You know what I mean? It's a great saying. And a good friend of mine, a good friend of the shows, and the host of Let Freedom Ring, you would be a perfect guest for his show. I'm going to hook you up with Dan. Dan, got to get Matt on your show. If you had a wrestling company, who would you rather head of creative? Triple H or Tony Khan? I think I already know your answer just from sitting here with you for 18 or 20 minutes or whatever it is. Go ahead.
Well, us New Hampshire guys have to look out for each other, so I'm going to have to give the rub to Triple H. Tony Khan, he's very passionate about the business, and he's very accommodating to his employees. But from what I hear lately, he's very eccentric. Triple H, though, has the benefit of growing up as the right-hand man of Vince McMahon.
Right.
And Vince McMahon, it's not just Vince, but it's Vince's father and grandfather. So it's 100 years of wrestling promotion and wrestling knowledge.
Isn't that crazy to look at the 100 years between like three guys?
I know.
It's amazing.
Right. So if I had to make a choice, the choice is obvious. I would definitely want Triple H to work for me.
Right. Well, real quick, while we're on Triple H, have you been watching since he's taken over creatives at last? It's only been like a couple of weeks.
Well, I'm sure he would appreciate this. I haven't been watching TV lately. I've been going to wrestling practice and independent wrestling shows. But I do have WWE on Peacock, and I've been getting the highlights, watching their recap shows. And yes, the difference that Triple H has done since taking complete control of the company, it's very positive, and it is moving not too quickly, but moving in a good direction, in a very positive direction. Yeah,
and it was nice to see him bring back a couple of guys. Like, I really think Karrion Kross got screwed last time. When Vince brought him up, Triple H was all, out of the business at the time with his heart problems. And just to see, like, him decimate like that roster.
I know.
It was great. Keith Lee, another guy that I just didn't understand. What was Vince saying? He didn't like his boobs, he said. So, seriously, that was like his excuse. Send him down for more training. And that guy gets over everywhere he wrestles, and Keith Lee was over.
Yes. Yeah.
And I don't understand it.
Right. In my opinion, wrestling does need more big men. And you have Keith Lee, who's big in one way, and then you have Karrion Kross, who's big in a different way.
Right.
And it's not just about the suspension of disbelief. It's about taking the ride with these guys.
Right.
So more big men. I should talk, though. I should hit the gym myself and get in shape.
You're working out. You're doing it.
I'm doing it. But yeah, it's the belief in these wrestlers that really brings the fans in.
Excellent. Let's see. The next question we have here is from one of your fellow trainees. Former guest of the show, Kid V.
Kid V. All right. And before you start, I just want to say congratulations, Kid V. Congratulations on your Atlantic Pro Wrestling New England title win. Well deserved. Congratulations.
Yes. Congratulations. That is fantastic. He won it just the last show, right?
Yep. And I was there too. I was working the event, but I didn't expect it. And I popped like a fan too.
That's awesome.
It was so great to see.
Yeah, because I definitely would have popped huge. He's a great guy, and he's coming along really well.
Oh yeah.
I actually told him he had that match against. Remember when he took on Congo?
Yeah, I do. Yep.
Remember how good he did that match? I mean, Congo was a tough guy to fight. Congo won.
No, he didn't.
Or was that the DQ?
In fact, Kid V has 2 wins over Wildman Congo.
Both by DQ?
I know one was by DQ. The other one may have been by countout. I'm not sure. But Kid V, being Kid V, he lets everybody know that he has 2 wins over Wildman Congo.
See, I can't watch every match, but I know he had won the title. So again, congratulations, Kid V. Next question is from a guy that I'm going to get on the show.
Okay.
He's a wrestling trainee referee.
Okay.
Ronnie Maestro. Looking forward to meeting Ronnie, so I'm going to send him and Monty some dates later. Get them on the show.
Yeah, they would be great guests of yours. I've been working closely with both of them. And shout out to the 2 of them. They've been going all over New England as well, networking, getting exposure. Monty is on the fast track. He's getting booked on matches everywhere.
And he's doing well.
He's doing real well.
He's doing really well.
And very athletic, too.
Yeah.
And I've been in the ring training with him. Very solid, very athletic, and a real go-getter in there.
And a really good guy, respectful. I mean, you know,
yeah.
I mean, well, you're learning from guys that respect is really big, and for them guys,
It sure is.
and it sure is in the industry in itself. You get to another show, you shake hands, you introduce yourself. Exactly. All right. So, question for Matt: who influenced you to get into the business? Out of all the greats, I've always been curious. So, out of all the greats that you watched. You kind of talked a little bit about what got you into it at first.
Right.
But so was that what influenced you?
I think
WrestleMania 8 or?
Well, I think I might have to dip into a little bit of my ego here.
Okay.
And you'll see why.
There's nothing wrong with having an ego.
That's for sure. That's for sure. But ego and the next name will go hand in hand, and that's Hulk Hogan.
Yes.
So, with all due respect to Mr. Hulk Hogan, but you look at a guy who crossed over into the mainstream, and virtually everybody on the planet knows him.
Right.
And even if they don't know his name or don't know anything about wrestling, they see a photograph of him, they know exactly who he is.
Yep.
And they'll know who he is for decades to come. And here's a guy who, despite what anybody might say about him, he did everything for himself. He got to the top of the mountain. He stayed on top of the mountain, and he branched out and expanded outward. He got into some television and to some movies, and to have that kind of lifestyle and be on top for so many decades, that truly is what the goal of somebody's individual pursuit of this business should be.
Right. Excellent answer. And Hulk Hogan, in my opinion, is one of the greatest of all time. As an sports entertainment, I've said it here before, as a wrestler, his matches in Japan are incredible.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't have to do that here.
No.
That's why like I said, he's not, in my opinion, the greatest wrestler, definitely the greatest entertainer, and definitely on wrestling's Mount Rushmore.
Oh,
there is
yes.
absolutely no doubt. But I do have to say this about Hulk Hogan. I've been hearing some of these lies that he's been telling. Did you know that would have been the Hulk Hogan grill? If he didn't miss that phone call, that went to George Foreman.
Oh yeah, my favorite one is he wrestled 400 times in 1 year because he crossed over the international date line,
going to Japan back and forth.
Yep.
And what was there was another one that he was going to be the bass player for Metallica.
Oh yep. Oh yeah.
But Hogan, we love you anyways.
Yep.
All right.
For life.
It's for thank you for life. Yep. All right. As I said earlier, guys, when I opened the show, the Nashua State Representative, Matthew Pitaro, is here, and we're going to talk some politics. So, Matt, why should politics matter to me? Well, as a guy who I told you that I'm not a real political guy.
Sure.
So why should it matter to me?
So just a quick correction on that. Yeah. I do represent the town of Allenstown, New Hampshire in the State House. But
sorry.
No, that's quite all right. Why politics should matter. The thing about it is for most people, they see politics on TV and they get turned off by it. There's a lot of fighting. There's a lot of bombastic nonsense. But really where it starts is locally. And locally, if you just get involved and you just do a little volunteer work, you'll see real quickly what little work you do makes such a huge difference in your community. So it should matter to everybody.
Okay.
And like I said, just get out there, get involved, and you'll see the benefits right away.
Excellent answer. And what do you think are the most important issues facing the United States today?
For me, at the federal level, it's our spending. The United States is in debt tremendously, and it's because of a phenomenon called quantitative easement, where basically whenever a society or a government goes from coins to paper money, governments love to print more money. And so the more money they print, the more inflation we get. So the only way to curb that is for everyday people to be more fiscal. They need to make a choice between a $1.99 cheeseburger and a $2.05 cheeseburger. And the other way is that the government also needs to be more fiscally responsible.
Excellent. And if you were in charge, how would you propose we fix or address these issues? That way, or?
Yes, it certainly starts with balancing the budget at the federal level. If I were in charge, gee, well.
Well, I hope you are someday. At least I can say I know.
Maybe,
I know you.
maybe.
I
We'll
know
see.
the president of the United States.
Yeah.
You never know.
You never know. You never know. We'll see what happens. But it's a balancing act with. We are a leader in the world. The United States of America is a world leader, but it's a balancing act of being that global leader, but also taking care of our own and making sure that everything in our country domestically is where we want it to be. So what I would look at is fair trade agreements. I would look at different ways of helping the United States and doing things interests for the United States, because of the stronger country that we are, the stronger and better leader we can be for other countries in the world.
Excellent. Excellent. My third question is, putting cynicism aside, I said that right?
Cynicism.
Cynicism, yeah. Putting cynicism aside, do you think there are any issues that Republicans and Democrats agree on? And if so, which ones?
That's a very interesting question. Going back to what I do at the State House in Concord as a state representative, I serve on the Transportation Committee. The Transportation Committee has the luxury of being one of those few committees that is really not so contentious with the line going down the aisle.
Okay.
A lot of the things that come up when it comes to transportation, such as airways and roads and other things on sidewalks and all the policies surrounding those, I found in that committee that both sides of the aisle tend to agree a lot more than disagree.
Excellent. All right. My fourth question is, most people have a cynical view about politicians. I will definitely say that I do. No offense. Obviously.
None taken. None
Right.
taken.
An example, all politicians are corrupt and are in it for themselves. If you do have such views, what do you think we as a nation can do to elect better people to office?
Gotcha. Okay. So I actually don't believe that. I do believe that elected officials, when they start out, they do start out with a sense of giving back and giving to the community. It is easy to point at some of the more bombastic individuals we see on TV at the national level and say, oh, goodness, this person must definitely be corrupt. And, oh, you hear this and, oh, man, the villain. But by and large, it's not really like that. The people that we elect earned it is
Right.
the reality of the situation. But taking a step back to the corrupt part of it, when I entered politics, I soon found out that once I got in there and started seeing things from the inside,
Right.
I actually went to the former congressman and I'm like, so when does all the shenanigans happen? When do I get bribes? When does this happen? And he says, Matt, I've been in politics for like 20 years. There's no cloak and dagger. There's nothing like that behind the scenes. We're just everyday people that help the community and do what we can to make our homes and the country a better place.
Nice. That sounds like a good politician who said that to you.
Yes, it was a very good congressman. Yeah.
Do you want to? It's up. If you could say his name if you want, or you don't have to. Either or.
So early on in my volunteer phase of politics, I worked very closely with the Frank Ginta campaign, and what a shout out to Jay, but a well run campaign that was, and I learned a lot of things working on that campaign.
Nice. That's excellent. Okay. What, if anything, do you do to try and promote good and effective government at the local, state, or federal level?
What I do is try to impart on people that it is a matter of, like Morpheus from The Matrix said, I can only open the door for you. It's up to you to walk through. It's like that with politics, and it's like that with pro wrestling as well.
Right.
It's find something you like, find a candidate that you like, go and reach out to their campaign, volunteer for them, and you'll see real quickly that if you start door knocking for a campaign, for example, you'll meet several people in your neighborhood, and then when election day comes, you might be working the polls that day, and you'll see the same people come in and vote, and they'll see you, and they'll say, gee, I didn't even know today was election day. I didn't even know I could vote, but you made a difference in my life. And that is the greatest reward in politics.
Nice. That's excellent. Before I move off of politics and ask you about how you met a special someone, is there anything else you would like to talk about politics that I don't know about, or anything you want to get across about politics? Please, now.
Sure. So, taking a step back from the federal government, I'm a member of the New Hampshire House of Representatives in the state government. New Hampshire has the third largest government in the world.
Really?
Number 1, the United States. Number 2, India. Number 3, New Hampshire.
Wow. I would have never known that.
New Hampshire is uniquely positioned for people to get involved in politics. Not only do we have a very large representative government, but we also have the first in the nation presidential primary. And what a whirlwind that is every 4 years.
Right.
And if you want to get involved in politics at that level, that's right around the corner. And there's going to be, every 4 years, there's exciting stuff going on. But we are so blessed here in New Hampshire to have the first in the nation primary and such a large representative government that we can bring in all sorts of volunteers, and everybody has a place to help out.
Nice. Excellent. So Matt, I heard you need to tell us the story of meeting one Mrs. Linda McMahon, who might go by Miss soon.
No, yeah. So back when I was working still in the volunteer phase of politics, there was a convention. And at that time, I believe it was right before the 2016 election, all the presidential candidates came to this convention. And there was a list of all the speakers for the day. And I knew where the green room was in the hotel. So coming up on the list was Linda McMahon. So I kind of go by the door of the green room, and one of my buddies, David, every so often would crack the door open, peek his head through, and look around and do that. So the next time he did that, he cracked the door open. I'm like, hey, David, I would give anything to meet Linda McMahon. And he's like, he closes the door. Then I'm sitting there twiddling my thumbs for 40 seconds. Then he cracks the door open again. So I go into the green room. So it's just David, me, and Linda McMahon. And I did my best not to mark out, but how could you not?
Exactly.
How could you not? I said to her, Linda, I want to thank you, your husband, and your entire family for a lifetime of entertainment. Sometimes on Monday nights, it's a hard day at work. I come home, I turn on your show, and it just takes me away and relieves all the stress in my life. So she was very appreciative. I told her that I was surprising a friend with wrestling tickets when they're coming to Manchester next week, and it was a very great experience. I got my picture with her, and it was such a such that, and not to overdo the politics thing, but that is just one example of a benefit of volunteering and working in politics. Networking, getting to know people, is that these sorts of opportunities present themselves, and they are memories that you'll take with you for the rest of your life.
Nice. Have you ever met Al Gore?
I never met Al Gore. I did meet Bill Clinton. I saw Hillary Clinton at a speech once. I met Barack Obama. I met Donald Trump. In fact, I used to work for the Donald Trump campaign.
Okay.
I met so many people in politics. I think we might have to book another show for that one.
There we go. I met Al Gore. I was working at the Marriott. It was probably 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. And what a very large man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. I mean, but larger than life. So nice. I mean, literally, he came into the break room and he shook everybody's hand, because I guess he told that they wanted to. He wanted to shake the hands of the employees.
Yes.
It was fantastic, and I'll never forget it.
Yeah.
I'll never forget it, and I look at him as a great man.
Yeah, he was
I really do.
a really good man, very smart, very well spoken.
Yes.
Kind of faded out of the limelight after all the global warming stuff.
Yeah.
But no, I'd love to hear from him.
I'm kind of surprised. Couldn't he run again if he wanted to?
Yes, he could. He could run for president.
I think he'd win.
He might.
Honestly, if he decided to run, I think he could win this. I really do. I think he could win.
Imagine the fodder on the cable news about that one. Him coming out of the woodwork.
Right?
That would be awesome.
All right, so we got a little over 20 minutes.
Okay, sure.
Let's play the name game.
The name game.
The name game. It's a lot of fun. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything else. Well, actually,
All right.
before we play the name game,
Uh-oh.
I do have one more political question.
Uh-oh.
I forgot. Can you talk about the New Hampshire state government?
Sure. So, unlike the federal government or the state governments of the other 49 states, we actually have 4 branches of government here. We have the executive branch, we have the Senate, we have the House, and then we have the Executive Council. The Executive Council is quite interesting. So that's a holdover from colonial times.
Oh, wow.
So back in those days when Great Britain were our overlords, they would have colonial governors of the territories. New Hampshire established the Executive Council to kind of be a board of high-ranking New Hampshire citizens to have voting power alongside the governor.
Right.
So right now the Executive Council, they vote on the judicial appointments, and they also vote on state contracts. So that's just a little tidbit of knowledge about New Hampshire. But what I do is in the House of Representatives, every single bill that's proposed in New Hampshire actually gets a hearing.
Oh, wow.
So other states, they get a lot of bills too, but what happens is the bill might go to a committee, and if it might be junked in the committee, and not every single bill in New Hampshire gets a public hearing, a posted opportunity for the public to come in and testify on every single bill.
Wow.
And I forget how many bills we did last session. It was over 1,000. But it's really, really fun, and you learn a lot from going to these committee meetings, whether you're a member of the committee or if you're a member of the public. You watch the progress of the bill, and you hear not only about the interesting content of the bills, but hearing the debates and the viewpoints on these different subject matters. Very enlightening. You learn a lot from them.
Excellent. Nice. Now we can play the name game.
All right.
At first I want to go and ask you about, mention other trainees. I got some names. I didn't get everybody's last name.
Sure.
But I'm sure you know. So let's just start with Mike Jump.
Mike Jump. Great young man. Very tall. Lot of leg strength. And as I understand it, he has a Taekwondo background.
Oh, wow.
So when he's going to have a very good presence in the ring one day. And he's very charismatic, and they don't call him Jump for nothing.
All right. Mike Tedesco.
Mike Tedesco. There's a guy who's very passionate of the business, very into wrestling, and his character stuff is coming along nicely. And once he gets out there, man, he's gonna rock this world.
Excellent. I love hearing that. And sorry for the next few names. I don't have your last name, and you can send it to me and let me know, and I'll even mention you next week. Jose's
been a great training partner with me. He's doing very good in training. I love working with him, doing drills with him, and he's a great partner. He's a good size too, and he's pretty athletic.
Excellent. And
Heather, there's one who's going to be making waves in the wrestling business one day. She's also very committed to the business. She's training at different schools.
Nice. I like seeing that.
She has different outfits for her gear picked out, and she has had a couple of matches, battle royals, and so forth. And I kind of started around the same time as she did, and I just saw her a couple of weeks ago training, and boy, the progress that the past few months has been absolutely wonderful.
Excellent. Cam. Now, I would imagine, this is Cam Hall, I would imagine, right?
Yep, Cam.
Yeah, because
Yep.
Sonny didn't have to tell me. I knew Cam's last name.
Yep, that's Cassius Hall.
Yes.
So Cam has been a great leader at the training facility I go to, and he's very, very passionate about the business. And what's nice about him is that he's very serious about it.
Yeah.
And when it's serious to somebody's personally, it's serious to everybody else. And God, he is so athletic.
He's doing so well.
And we can't tire him out yet.
Right.
We try and blow him up.
Ain't gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen.
It's not. He's in such good
Yeah,
shape.
yeah. We'll think of something someday.
Right. Now, I think the next guy's his brother, Kyle.
Kyle, yep.
Yeah, looks
Kyle.
like him, too.
Kyle is absolutely great, and I've had several training matches with Kyle, and he's so giving in the matches.
Nice.
And he's also so much of a pleasure to work with. His star is beginning to brighten too, and he's had a couple of matches recently on APW.
Nice.
And it's just up and up for him.
Excellent, excellent. I think I'm going to say it right. Quang?
Quang, yes.
Yes.
Quang, there's another guy who's pretty serious about the business, and I haven't worked with him in a little while, but he's, along with me in politics and wrestling, he's doing acting in wrestling.
Oh, nice.
So he's doing the wrestling to complement his acting and vice versa. And I see him here and there on social media, and he has different castings and different opportunities in acting as well. So I wish him the best in that regard.
Excellent. I guess he used to train with another guy, TJ?
TJ, yep. I got to know TJ over the last couple of months. What a guy. He trained in wrestling in the South like 15 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yep. And he told me he used to train with one of the Moondogs. So then I went to Wikipedia and looked up the Moondogs, and it turns out there's like 35 of them.
There's a lot of them.
So-
there is a lot of them.
So I'll have to ask him which one again.
Right.
But no, and it's an interesting story. Like, it's the Goldberg story that he told me, is that he has a family and kids now, and he wants to share wrestling with them.
Right.
So he's getting back into it, and I think that's just the best thing.
I'm a huge hockey fan,
Mm-hmm.
and David Krejci went home last year. I don't know if you're into the Bruins at all, but David Krejci went home to the Czech Republic or wherever, and he wanted to play in front of his kids.
Oh, okay.
And luckily, he got that out of his system, because now he's coming back. He's signed with the Bruins again.
Nice.
Welcome back, David Krejci.
Awesome.
All right, and last one of the trainees, I don't know if Sonny's giving me ribbon me. Tyler Burpee?
Tyler Burpee.
So that is a person.
Yep, that
All
is a
right,
person,
I thought
yep.
Sonny was giving me a rib.
Yep. What a guy who is very coachable and picks things up right away. And he not only does he do the new moves and everything that's asked of him, but he goes above and beyond. He wants to learn more. He wants to take it a step further. And just watching his progress has been absolutely inspiring. I am very proud of him.
Awesome. Now, before I get off of it and go to other people, is there anybody that I missed that's training with you that you would like to bring up, just in case?
To all my brothers and sisters
go.
at the Next Gen Pro Wrestling Center, and all of my brothers and sisters at the Elite Pro Wrestling Academy, I love training with you all. I can't wait to see you later on tonight, actually, after the show. And it's a journey together, and I love all of you.
Nice. That's awesome. I love hearing that. The next thing I'm going to ask is, because he is a personal friend of mine, Sonny Goodspeed.
Sonny Goodspeed. You know, for a guy with such a ridiculous goatee, I'm surprised he's not doing the Neidhart thing much more.
How about with the goatee with the Crocs?
The Crocs. Oh, man.
Sonny.
Well, I know he shaves his legs, and at least he washes his feet, so the Crocs aren't that bad.
Oh, you're in trouble.
I think so.
No, he's going to just rib you really hard. That's all. All right. How about, I know another guy that you trained with, I think, Jonathan Saucier.
Jonathan Saucier, another guy who, again, is passionate about the business. He comes from a grappling background, so he's very physical, very intense in there. And his selling actually is going to be something to keep an eye out for. And him getting beat up, people pay money to see that.
Nice. Great kid, too. I loved having those guys. Yep. Will Duncan.
Yep,
Gotta
Will
bring
Duncan.
up Will.
There's another guy who comes to practice, and he's doing great. I worked with him a lot in the ring. We're both of a similar size. He's a bit taller than me, but we're fairly close in weight. And another guy who I've been seeing the progress, just I came in with a bunch of these guys at the same time, and
Right.
we were all chickens with our heads cut off, basically. But together, we're coming up in the business, and it's very nice to see. And the New England wrestling scene should watch out, because in a little bit of time, there's going to be some action out there.
Nice. And congratulations on the birth of his son, right? He had a son, right? I could have swore I saw blue. But on the birth of your child. We'll
Yes.
just keep it that way.
Yep.
Congrats, Will.
Yes, congrats. A total blessing. Congrats.
And your wife, congrats, because she did most of the work. Remember that. She did most of the work. Monty. Aries. Is that how you say it? Aries. Okay, thank you. Sorry, man, Monty. I keep calling him Manny. I'm so used to that because I don't know many people named Monty.
Right. Yeah, Monty is... what can I say about Monty? When I first saw him, he was very good, very athletic, and very talented. And he's also stepped up as a leader amongst us students.
Yes.
Sometimes some of the trainers can't be there all the time, so he steps up and
Nice.
He helps the crew, and the opportunities he's getting, and not only what he tells me from the feedback he's getting, I'm hearing feedback from other people, and everything's going good for him, and I continue to wish him the best as he moves forward.
As he's been working for a little bit, for a while now, and honestly, he impresses me every time I watch him wrestle. Seriously, so does Kid V.
Right, both of
They
them.
both do.
Yeah, and one last thing about those guys is that on the APW shows, Monty, who's new, he's getting over with the young crowd.
He is.
And the yes sir thing, he's getting merch made and things are going good, and carries over from show to show, and people remember him, and that's what we need is positive characters and
Right.
and great rememberable wrestlers in this business.
Yes, and it's great to see them guys really work really hard. How about one of your trainers, Scott Reed?
Scott Reed, man, whenever I'm in the ring with him, his awesomeness just like rubs off on me. Like every moment that I'm in there with him, and movement, how to move around, it is like, how could you not get better just by working with him? And he's also very great about not only explaining new things, but showing new things.
Right.
So when he gets in there and shows you how to do new things, it's very impactful. And every little takeaway from the new moves, I retain.
Nice. And how about the guy that had a hand in training all the guys from New England that are on TV right now? Mike Hollow.
Mike Hollow.
Great guy. Both those guys. I love them. They're awesome.
Mike Hollow is absolutely stupendous, and it's such an honor to be training with him. He's about not only the moves and a new way of doing the moves, but he's also about everything in between the moves.
Right.
So we all heard about what Triple H said recently about everything in between the moves. Mike Hollow is very much the same way. The intensity of everything from the lockup to going into the next maneuver.
And the footwork, everything.
Oh,
he
yeah,
just
the footwork.
covers it all.
Yeah, it's been great, and absolutely blessed to be working.
All right, well, we'll go to the other school, Julian Starr.
Julian Starr.
Oh, man, you are blessed to be trained by all four, and Bud, all of them.
I am so thankful.
You really
This is
are.
Such a great opportunity. The first time I worked with Julian Starr, which was amazing, is we were working some chain wrestling, and I was in there working with him, and it was like the first time that I was doing chain wrestling without getting blown up.
Nice.
And he's another guy, just like Scott, where when you're in the ring with him, his awesomeness just rubs off on you, and you just learn by being tactile and being in there with him.
Excellent. And if you want to talk about Bud real quick, seeing we already covered the other three trainers.
Sure, yeah, Bud is absolutely awesome. He broke me into the business. Very supportive of all of his students. Very accommodating, and great focus on character work. Great focus on promos, and also he's also very giving. A lot of schools, as I understand it, they might hold off on showing their students different moves and stuff.
Right.
But we might have an '80s night, And we
Really?
might learn like half a dozen of the old 80s moves.
Oh, wow.
So having all of those in your toolbox is so invaluable, you know? So I can't be more appreciative.
That's really cool. I never heard that they did that. Any school had ever done something like that. I like that. So you learn all the moves from wrestlers from the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
That's really cool. I like that, bud. All right, how about we'll go down some of the rosters and stuff of people that I know you've been worked with or around.
Yep.
Vanity Vixen.
Vanity Vixen, man, she is a pleasure to have at shows and in the area, in the locker room and everything. She is so positive, so friendly, and so great to be working these matches and working with the entire women's division that's coming up in New England wrestling.
Excellent, excellent. How about Setherin?
Setherin.
Has he ever come up? I know him and Bud, the tag team partners, as Nightbreed. Does he ever come up to the school too?
I haven't
He
seen
trained
him.
a lot of people too.
Yeah, I haven't seen him at the school in a while, but
Okay.
Setherin's another guy who's just by continuing to be in the business and continuing on his journey, he's bringing in the younger talent, and it's so valuable for the younger talent to learn from these veterans,
Right.
and you know, you learn by doing, and he's also a great asset to the New England wrestling scene.
Yes, he is. And I'm sure very giving.
Yes.
You know, like when he's at the training stuff. Miss you guys, Vanity and Amato. You guys I got to send you guys some dates. It's been too long. How about Wild Man Congo?
Oh, gee. Congo. Congo is he's on a rampage at APW right now, and the guy.
Stay out of his way.
Oh yeah. I gotta get some work in before I can even think about
Right.
going toe to toe with that man. But no, he's a good guy, and he's also given me some advice recently backstage, and I'm very appreciative of that. And nice demeanor, calm, easygoing guy backstage. But boy, once he gets into the ring, ugh.
Gets dressed in his wrestling gear. Look out.
Oh yeah.
All right. How about the APW heavyweight champion, Eli Markopoulos?
Yeah, he's quite a guy. He's also been giving me some advice backstage at APW shows. Nice guy. Always has time for you. He tried to play a rib on me recently, but
Did he really?
He tried to, but we'll see what happens in the future in regards to that. He's been, since I've been around wrestling, he's been the champion of APW, and he's doing great. And I also understand that he's one of the trainers at a school in Southern.
The lockup.
The lockup.
Top rope. Yep. With Ryan Drew.
Yep.
Ryan Waters. Sorry.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. So that's great that he's giving back to the business.
Excellent. See, and I already brought him up. Ryan Waters, half of the OP, original Prestige. All right, like to call him Old Prestige.
Yep. Ryan.
Just kidding, Ryan.
I
Don't
believe
kill me.
Ryan works with Top Rope and stuff, and so I've been in communication with him. He's asked me to come down and help. I helped out at Focus Pro the other day, and also another gracious guy and very giving guy to the new guys in the backstage.
Absolutely. And I'm just joking with Ryan. That's when I say Old Prestige. They really are the original Prestige, and it was great to see.
I got you.
That, right, because they're original Prestige, but it's because up in Limitless, Ryan, B.I.G., Shannon Thomas, and Mac Davis was doing some type of Prestige.
Okay.
So that's why he's like, they were just called the Prestige before. Now they're original Prestige. So one day, like an idiot, I didn't even know it was original. I said, what are they, the old Prestige? And so what my guess was, he's like, what are you calling Ryan old? And I'm like, yeah! but he had that tag team with Matt Magnum years ago, and then Matt came back, and it's just awesome to see them back together.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know, they're a great tag team.
Oh yeah, very great, and kind of lack of a better word, a throwback tag team.
Yes.
Some brainbuster stuff and good technical stuff.
Excellent. All right, how about well, we're gonna stick with those guys, like people from around that area. How about the Rhode Island Lion, Nico Silva?
Nico Silva, again, another guy who he gave me advice about some gear recently. Another guy, pleasure to be around backstage, very giving to the business. Also another guy, consistent on the independent scene, and
Yes.
he's working heel now, but people do like to see him, and he's awesome in the ring.
I want to get him here someday. That's my goal. Or do I have to get it? Or do I have to get a camera and come to you, Nico? I definitely would love to get him on the show. How about, there's another tag team for you. Max Smashmaster and Mortar.
Oh, man.
So what was that? Slaughterhouse.
That's right. I was actually at the Chaotic show a few weeks ago where they had a title match, and it was a street fight, and so it was all over the facility. And what an intense match that was. But sometimes those blow-off matches between tag team partners, they end up being the best ones.
Right.
So I congratulate them both on that masterpiece.
I loved it when I seen them team because of the dynamic of just Max just being so gigantic.
Yeah.
And Mortar, good size, but just so much shorter than him. It's just they're a fantastic tag team. I really enjoy watching them a lot.
Oh yeah, they're great. They're great.
Excellent. Well, we got a minute and a half. Why don't we just talk a little more about your politics? Vote on November 8th for Matthew Pitaro. I'm saying it correctly.
Oh,
right?
yes.
All right.
Yep.
New Hampshire State Representative. It's a Republican-led accomplishments from the 21-22 session. Should I read that?
No, you don't have to read it.
All right.
But
put it in front of you two while you're talking.
Yep. You can go to my website for my political campaign, MatthewPitaro.com. For my wrestling career, you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter. It's at PW Politician. Thank you very much, Leo. This is a pleasure to be here.
Glad to have you.
And, and back to the politics, I'm always accepting donations.
Now, I was going to ask you that. Where could we send donations? Where could people send donations to?
MatthewPitaro.com.
Okay.
Just go to the donations tab, and I'll see you guys on the wrestling circuit. I'll see you guys on the campaign trail. And God willing, President of the United States.
You never know.
You never know.
You never know. Like I said, Matthew, it was really great to have you on. And we'll do this again because next time you're on, we'll just talk TV, wrestling, or old school.
Oh, yeah.
Because I love having repeat guests.
Oh, perfect. I'd love to be here.
And I think I'm going to change my day, maybe going up to the Elite till I know you're there. I'm going to change it maybe to a Tuesday or a Thursday, then a Wednesday.
It's just this Wednesday. I got shoot politics stuff this Wednesday. So.
Ooh, there we go. That's great. All right, guys. Well, that's it tonight from the Ring and All Other Sports. Thanks again, Matt. We're out of here. Peace. Hi, guys. I hope you're enjoying the show. Listen, I could use a little help to grow my YouTube channel. So if you could please like, share, and subscribe. That's most importantly, subscribe. Send me a direct message, and I'll give you a shout out here on the show. My YouTube channel is real simple. It's just my name, Leo Connors. Thanks in advance. Peace.